Hello everyone, you're listening to Turning the Page with Jer
and Jel,
and we are going to be sharing life experiences in hopes to give you encouragement, inspiration, maybe some different outlooks on life and how to get through those obstacles that you might be facing.
Yes, we hope to be entertaining and sharing our life stories that maybe you can also relate to.
We're going to have some fun as we do this. As my wife always says, we might cry, we're going to laugh, we're going to have some really good times, but you're also going to be able to relate to our lives and some of the things that we've gone through.
Yes, and our goal is to be transparent and raw with all of y'all. So, turn your volume up and let's get started.
Let's go. Yes. No, you're part of it. You are part of it. You're part of it. You change things up.
I want to try a different setup. No, we've never used this.
Oh, new camera angle. We got a new clear picture
if
today.
it works.
So
because I'm tired of these low quality video productions.
Okay.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like the fuzziness. I just don't like it. Anyways.
Yeah, we've been struggling through that a little bit, but
it's okay. We're only on episode 17. It's a learning curve.
It takes 100 to get to that point to where we've got things.
Yeah, we got time. Have you guys noticed? Have you guys noticed my Boost cup? Ooh, what does it say, baby?
It's my birthday.
No.
Month.
Yeah, it's your birthday month.
It is my birthday month.
May is the month of your birth.
Yes.
Where God decided, I'm going to create a Jeremy Walter Tafoya. I'm sorry, was I not supposed to share your middle name?
No.
I'm sorry.
This is going to be an interesting podcast.
Listen.
Very interesting. Her eyes are red and I'm tired. We're ready for bed. And we are podcasting late because we're going out of town.
We just live a busy life, and we have a lot going on right now, so we're filming a little bit later than usual.
But we had a good time tonight. We had dinner with some friends.
Yes,
it was much needed.
We went to go celebrate my best friend because we are going to be out of town this weekend, and we won't be able to go watch her walk to receive her degree. I'm so proud of her. She got an associate's degree from CNM. We're so excited. So we're going to go celebrate tonight since we're not going to make it to the ceremony. And we leave tomorrow, but I still have a full day of work tomorrow.
Yep.
With lots of training.
Unfortunately, I am off tomorrow.
That's not unfortunately.
See that smile? Look at that smile. Look at the smile. Look
Lucky.
at my smile.
Thankfully.
I'm like really excited about that.
Thankfully, you have PTO that you can use for the time off. I started a new job. I don't have that luxury.
No?
No, not yet.
Soon.
Yes.
Soon.
But anyways.
We'll be here soon.
Today, we are talking on episode 17 again about family dynamics, everything to do about family. And we don't have a specific topic in mind today. We're just going to kind of wing it today, right?
Yes.
See what comes up on the topic of family.
Familia.
Ooh, me gusta.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ooh, are you getting ready for Cinco de Mayo tomorrow?
I am.
How did you know?
Because I've been planning it all month.
Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah.
We don't even celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
I don't care. It's still part of my heritage. Did you get my video I sent you today?
You know what? You sent it to me, but I didn't view it because I actually do work at work.
And this is a daily thing. Daily thing.
Like I actually am busy at work.
So there's this guy on TikTok and other social media. He's a black guy. He's always dancing. He does all these different dances, but he has a hype man, right? So the hype man's on his driving, and he's wearing a poncho, a sombrero, and they have this music that's like Spanish, and he gets out and he's dancing outside of the...
Mufasa.
¿Qué?
You ready for Cinco de Mayo?
Sí, sí.
You ready for Cinco de Mayo? Dame. Let's go, papi. Let's get it. Go. Yeah! Let's go, baby! Hey! What? Let's go! Go ahead!
If I can find it,
I
maybe
will
I'll
check it
add
out
but
for you. I will check it out, I promise.
It's really good.
So,
Really good.
So I guess the only thing I really have on my list here about family, I wrote something down. And I wrote, just because they're family doesn't mean you have to spend time with them. You don't have to like them. You don't even have to love them.
No.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people who feel the obligation. Oh, they're my aunt, they're my uncle, they're my cousin, they're my mom, they're my dad, they're my sister, they're my brother. I have to do this for them. I have to spend time with them. I have to bail them out. I have to, whatever the have to is, they feel that obligation because why? Because they're family. And, you know, I love my family. I love every single family member that I have. But there are certain family members that I do keep my distance from because why? Well, one, their energy is very draining. And when I'm around them, it's exhausting. Have you ever had a family member like that? Because I know we all have at least one. So,
And if you don't have them, you're the one.
no, you didn't.
I did. I went there. Went there. Bruh.
You just offended like a million people. That's true,
It's
though.
true, though.
If you don't have that family member, you're the family member. Keep that in mind. But yeah, we all have them, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay to establish boundaries with them. And, you know, sometimes they don't have to be verbally established or spoken or whatever, right? You can just set your own boundaries and abide by them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you have a relative that you know your time limit. Like, I can only be around them for 2 hours max, 3 hours max, whatever it is. And then you're like, I gotta go. You know, it might be that. You never know. Do you have any family members like that you're like,
I do.
I'm not gonna hang out with them?
There's a couple that come to mind that you get around and it's just like overwhelming. Like, oh. Or there's certain things that they like to say or do or, yeah.
And you feel uncomfortable when they say or do these things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's one family member. I haven't been around him in a long time. Like, been years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the type of where he always has something to say. Always find something wrong or try to correct what you say or, you know, just, I don't know. It's just real condescending.
Yeah.
And
they try to do it in a loving way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come.
It doesn't come
out
off that way. It's always something.
It's like when you have that grandma or that tia or whoever that's like gives you a compliment, but it's not really a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you might be a little chunky or a little overweight, and then you're eating a paleta or something, and they're like, "Ay, mija, you eat so well." That is totally not a compliment. They're basically saying, wow, she eats a lot, but I'm going to tell her that she has a good appetite. There's like, you know what I mean? It's like, It's like that passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
It's
a way to try to say something without being blunt about it. But
like,
wouldn't it be better if they were just like blunt about it?
I would prefer it. Yeah. If you want to tell me that I'm chunky and I eat too many paletas, then please tell me that. But don't beat around the bush and be passive aggressive about it. Because if you were to tell me, dang, babe, that's your third paleta. You really enjoy those, huh? I'd be like, I sure do. Give me another one. Or whatever my comeback would be. But I'm not going to be offended because of your opinion. Because it doesn't matter what you think. It only matters what I think and what Jesus thinks. So, you know what I mean? Like, duh.
Yes,
But anyways, there's always that family member, right? that is going to have that passive aggressiveness and not really tell it how it is. But establishing those boundaries early on, like especially for the Mexican culture. I mean, you grow up like, ándale, dale un abrazo a tu tía, dale un abrazo a tu tío. Like you have to hug them, you have to give them kisses, you have. Why? Why do you make your kids hug them if they feel uncomfortable hugging them? Like there's a few relatives growing up that I was like, I don't want to hug you or kiss you on the cheek or like I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I still did out of respect because it was something that you just did.
Yeah. Well, a lot of families have that as part of their, it's like it's just done, right? It's something that you do. So they expect it from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, did you go hug them? Did you go?
Yeah. And if you didn't, oh, you're rude. Oh, se cree mucho. Ay, se cree muy. Like, oh, she's too good. No. That's not it at all. It's that you give me...
Like, I just get...
You give me some creepy vibes, bro. And I am about all that. That's what it really means. Or maybe it's a child that, like, went through some kind of trauma and they're like, I ain't physically touching anybody I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what the case is. But that's one thing that I'm just like I will tell my son, did you say hi? I will never say, did you give him a hug? Did you kiss them? No, I will never say that.
Yeah.
But I will say, did you acknowledge that this person is in the room and actually say hi?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's different.
You know what I mean?
Good.
So that's what I got today.
So growing up in that, not atmosphere, but when you have those times, or like you said, you being around certain people, because all of us have probably grown up with people that you get a bad vibe, or something has happened where you've been hurt, maybe by things that they've said or things that they've done, or there's just someone in your life that tends to just speak harsh,
Oh yeah.
And be very
They're harsh with their words.
Just whatever they feel, they say it, and doesn't matter how it's going to come across to you. It's like, well, that's what I feel, or that's what I was just thinking, and rather than being like, you know what, this might not be right for me to say, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. Sometimes there's people like that. I remember people like that in my life that would just come out and say things that were just like harsh and rude, and it's like, what
to you?
Where the heck did that come from? Yeah,
they said harsh, rude things to you.
There was times that I had, like, okay, growing up in high school all the way up into my 20s, like I had my teeth on this side, like this tooth, my vampire tooth,
okay,
was in front of this one, like right here. So it was like my teeth were a little bit overlapped. So I needed braces. Like I had some of my teeth were a little bit off and stuff, but like that was my biggest thing. And I used to always have someone that would always comment on it, or he'd always comment on, they used to call me Langusho because I was tall and skinny.
You're still tall and skinny, baby.
I don't remember other things, but I remember there were times like I would get certain things that would be said towards me, like whether it was on, when I was a new parent or, stuff like that. So
did you let it affect you?
Well, I think I did, because it always stuck with me. Like even now I kind of remember things, but I don't remember all of the things that were said, but I remember those times where like something was said, and then I'd be so self-conscious about things. Like I'd be around, especially that person or people that knew us or around them, like I'd try not to smile, or I'd try not to laugh out loud, because then like my teeth would show or stuff like that. So, it caused some self-conscious things. And when you're that age, I mean, everything that you think of is self-conscious.
What age did you get your teeth fixed?
I had to be 25, 26, 27 or something like that. It was late.
I learned something new about my husband today.
I was working at Route 66 Casino. It was like 2005, 2006, so I was already Yeah, I was already close to being 30 back then. Yeah, I was in my late 20s.
Wow.
Because that's
I
when
didn't
I had
know
the
that.
money. I made good enough money to be able to do that. So I was like, I'm gonna go get my teeth fixed. Go
Good
get
for
me
you.
some braces. And I had a
And
grill.
you have beautiful teeth. Look
Wow.
at those pearly whites.
They just need some whitening because I drink so many sodas.
What about those cigars? They turn your teeth yellow too.
No, I don't do them that often. It's like once in a long while. Last time I had one was like
once a
2
month
weeks ago.
is enough to turn them
No.
yellow.
No. That is not true.
Okay, I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah. But yes, there's certain people in your life that will say things or be harsh towards things
And you
just
carry
tell you
those.
like stuff that
Mm-hmm.
in reality it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that don't guard what they say, and we're supposed to guard what we say.
Yeah.
What we say, we're supposed to speak things that are uplifting. We're supposed to speak things that build life. We're supposed to
Not break you down.
no. And if there is something that we do have to talk about with someone that might break them down, or you're doing something wrong, or you're doing something that's not right for you, then that should be done in private.
Yeah,
That
not
should be
in
done.
public.
Yeah, not in front
In
of
front of your
20,
whole
30 people
family.
making you feel like, okay.
All
well,
eyes
dang,
on
that was
you.
rude.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
So,
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I never understood that concept of, oh, they're your family, you have to. Because even, and that's one of the things that even some of my family members now don't understand about me, is that I'm like, I don't have to spend time with you. I don't have to call you every day. I don't have to call you every week. If I choose to and I want to, fine. I mean, you grow up with your family, right? That's the family that God gave you. But when you go off and you get married, it says to leave your mother and father and be with your husband, be with your wife. Yeah, cleave to them. So it's a whole different dynamic. So your relationship with your siblings, with your parents, are going to be completely different now that you're married.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't talk to your family, okay? I'm not saying don't call your siblings or don't call your parents. Like I do try to call them, like if I think about them or I haven't heard from them in a while, or I haven't texted them or messaged them or haven't had them text me, I will reach out. If they pop into my mind, it's for a reason. So I'm going to call or text, hey, how you been? Hey, what are you doing? Or something like that. So, yeah.
yeah. There's people that I was talking to someone today, I won't say her name, but a family member is sick, and there's tension with family members, right? So I'm trying to tell the story without it being too, because I don't want to be telling everyone's business, but a family member is sick and they're in the hospital, and this family member, she wants to go visit, but there's another family member that doesn't allow that to happen. To the point to where like, oh no, if you come out here, then we'll call the cops, or
Call the cops.
Yeah. But there's people like that in your lives that it seems like they're there to cause issues or cause hurt because they don't get along with you, or you don't get along with them, or they didn't get along with your mom or a family member or whoever it is. They still hold grudges, or there's still bad blood there, right? And that's difficult, especially when you have mutual people that you love.
Yeah.
Trying to make something like that work, and you can't make it work because
is very difficult.
That person.
But see, in that situation, I would say, screw it, I'll take my chances.
Yeah.
Call the cops. Because if that family member that is in the hospital dies, I would regret not going just because so-and-so said that they were going to call the cops on me. Yeah. They can't stop me from visiting. No. So it's just a matter of having that confrontation. Some people don't like confrontation. Me, I'm like, I'm going. What are you going to do? I mean, I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything illegal.
Nope.
I'm not breaking law, right? So, yeah, I'm going to do it. But there, like in my family, there is, so I'm really close to my aunt on my dad's side, okay? And I have a family member who doesn't necessarily get along with my aunt, right? They had a falling out, long story. I'm not going to go into the details, but they don't talk. They just don't get on. There's bad blood there, okay? And I recently got invited to my uncle's birthday party. And so I went, and my sibling didn't get invited, even though they live there, right? And I don't live there. But the point is that my relationship with that family member should not affect my relationship with my sibling and vice versa, right? Like, my sibling's relationship with them is separate from my relationship with them. So whatever their thing is not my thing. And that's how I see it and have always seen it. I don't like to be in the middle. I don't want to get involved. And so for my sibling to tell me, oh, well, you're my sister, you should be the one to talk to them and tell them like why, and basically
puts you in the middle.
Basically like defend them or like make a way for them to have this relationship. That's not my job. Not my job. And I voiced this. And this is the thing is, and I voice my thoughts, my opinions, and some family members don't like it. Why? Because I'm real and I'm going to be honest, and I do it out of love. I don't do it out of spite.
Yeah.
But there's just some people that just can't get that you are where you are because of the choices that you made. You have the relationships that you have because of the choices that you made. Mm-hmm. I didn't make those choices.
Yeah.
So there comes a point where you have to take responsibility for your own actions. And if you really valued that relationship, then you would find a way to mend it.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened. So obviously they don't care, or they don't want the confrontation, or whatever the reason may be. Or maybe they're just full of so much anger and hate that they just don't want to deal with it. I don't know. It's none of my business, but that is something that has really saddened me because I don't like to see my family in conflict or strife like that, especially when they're that close to me. So there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to get involved or get in the middle. The only thing I can do is, of course, pray about it and leave it in God's hands and let him deal with them.
Yeah.
Because that's not my circus, not my monkeys. Okay? Like, that's my saying. Like, if it doesn't affect me, that's all you, right? And that's a concept that a lot of people don't get. Like, even my own mother didn't understand, like, why wouldn't I go to bat for my sibling? Why wouldn't, because it's not my place.
No, you're responsible for your own relationships and your own people that you interact with and keeping those relationships
I'm
healthy,
responsible for my relationships with all of my family members, my parents, my siblings, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. Like, if I want to be closer to you, I will. Trust me, I will. I will call you. I will text you. I will see what's up. But life does get busy, and there's a lot of stuff that we do besides podcasting. We have work, we have sports, we have a lot of these extracurriculars. I have photography. Like, there's just a lot of things that sometimes it's hard to find the time. And then when you do have downtime, you're tired, you're relaxing. We're having family time with our own family, but there are times where God will place someone on my heart or on my mind, and I just randomly start thinking about a specific family member. Sometimes it's someone I haven't talked to in months, and I'm like, they just came to mind. Okay, that's for a reason. Yeah. So I'm going to call them up. Like one time. And that's something that I really try to pay attention to. When I have a random thought, I know it's not always me. I know it's like the Holy Spirit or God being like, hey, you got to reach out to so-and-so. So one time I had a thought about my cousin, one of my cousins on my dad's side. And they came to mind, and I was like, my thought was, you need to call her, you need to reach out to her, you haven't heard from her. I was like, okay. But I let a week go by because I was so busy. And my thoughts always come when I'm driving, okay? So I was busy, I was driving, heading to my next destination, and I waited a whole week. A week later, I remembered that thought. I was like, oh, I remember last week and how I felt, and I needed to reach out. So I called her up. And I call her up to see how, she's doing, whatever, and she's going through a divorce. So I was like, oh, okay, I was meant to call you. So, just chit-chatted, talked, but it's those things that I try to pay attention to, because when they do come to mind, sometimes it's like maybe they just need someone to talk to. So maybe they just needed someone to call, to laugh with, to whatever, to think about them. Like, hey, I thought about you today. Like sometimes when someone calls me or texts me, I'm like, hey, you were on my mind today. How are you doing? I'm like, good, but thank you for reaching out. Sometimes it's like, and I will tell people, like, if I'm ever on your mind, if you think of me, pray for me. Yeah. Because I really take that serious. Like, if someone comes to your mind, always pray for them, because you never know what they're going through. And even if you do call and reach out, they're not always going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. So like recently, my brother has been on my mind. Well, I didn't call him or text him, but I did pray for him, because that's what I do. And when I get a chance and a free moment, like I've been stressed at work, but thankfully after this week, it'll be a lot
I haven't even talked to you.
I know.
Besides
podcast,
it's been crazy.
But when I get a free moment, I will definitely reach out on a more personal level. I just haven't had the opportunity, and then we're going out of town tomorrow. We're not going to be back till Sunday, so I'm like, dang. So sometimes it is a matter of just making the time. It doesn't matter how busy you are. If a thought comes or you feel a certain way about a family member that you feel like you have to reach out, do it, because you never know when they're going to need that person. Yeah. Whether they want to hear from you or not, you still do it, just basically for me out of obedience to God, but you just still do it. Yeah. So
it's true.
Have you ever
and there's the other part of that is it's two-sided. Yes. There's that person's responsibility or their acceptance to that as well, Well, a lot of times you can call people and you don't feel that same vibe, or there's not that same...
It's not reciprocated.
Reciprocation there. There's times I've reached out to friends that I haven't talked to in a while, and it just didn't feel like it was coming back, It's like, hey, we're going to be in town. I hope you see you. Didn't hear anything. No response. Nothing back. I was like, okay.
Of course.
Not knowing what that is, but yeah.
Well, you make a good point, because there's some family members that will say, oh, well, you never call me, you never visit me, you never text me, why should I call you, why should I visit you, why should I text you? Okay, wow. So that says a lot about that person and not really about you, because you don't know where people are at in life and how their schedule is and everything. And yes, I can make all the effort I want, and I can maybe call once a month, and that won't be enough. I can maybe call once a week, and maybe that won't be enough. Shoot, I can call every quarter or even yearly, whatever the case may be, and it's not enough. Some family members are just never happy or content with anything. So you have to learn to just let it roll off your shoulders and move on.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So
you cannot control that person.
Well, people, you can't.
You can't control a relationship, or you can't control what's accepted or not accepted, or force something. A lot of times there's people in our lives that we want those relationships to work out well.
We do, yeah.
We want it to be healthy, but
well, there's even relationships outside of your family that are not blood related, that are more family to you than your actual blood family.
Yeah, we have a lot of that.
God gives us our family that we're born into, like you had said in a previous podcast. And yes, and that's fine and beautiful, but then you have your family that you create, and that's not just the spouse that you marry or the kids that you have, that's the friends
People
and
you choose
the
to be
bonds
around.
that you make with other couples, other friends, and you become a family. Like I do have, like I can count on one hand like 3 friends that I'm super close to that I consider family. Your family doesn't always have to be blood related.
No, no. A lot of times, like you said, you
can choose
there's
your
people that
family.
you've chosen to have in your
Yeah.
life, and they're there for you a lot of times more than what other people would be.
Shoot, sometimes there's people I run into and I barely even know them. I might have known them for like a week, maybe even a couple months. I'm like, dang, I wish you were my family, girl. Like we get along so well. Or, you know, like there's some people at church that I love so dearly. I'm like, man, I wish they were related to me. You know, there are those people. But the good thing is we are brothers and sisters in Christ, so it doesn't really matter. Like they are my family, right?
Yeah.
I will see them again in heaven one day.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Is you have the family you're born into, you have the family that you choose, and that's okay. You can have both.
Yeah.
No one says you have to have either or. So.
No, you definitely get to pick who you want to be around, especially at our age.
Choose wisely, because sometimes when you choose your family and you choose wrong, it can have some repercussions. Right? Like, have you ever had a family member?
Example of that?
Well, not a specific one I can think of, but have you ever had a family member or a chosen family member that just uses you? Uses you for either money or for rides or for whatever. They're just moochers, and they mooch off of you because they can't seem to get it together. But you continue to give and give, or it doesn't even have to be financial. You're just so giving and giving of yourself and your time and your resources, and they just keep taking and taking and taking.
Yeah.
Like
draining.
It is very draining. It is emotionally draining. It is physically draining. It is mentally draining, and I call those people life suckers, and I don't keep them around. I used to have some. I don't keep them around anymore because it's just so draining, and you're exhausted. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody?
I have. It's been a long time. This is when I used to work at the casino.
And you finally got rid of them, or did they get rid of you? Because it goes both ways.
I think it just kind of faded out. Like I stopped responding to a lot because, like when I worked at the casino, I used to have tickets to like all.
Oh, they would use you for tickets.
So it was like, hey, this concert's coming up. You going? You can be there working, and I'll be there. Oh, any chance you can get me tickets? And of course I get how many you need, you know. So used to do a lot of stuff like that, but it took me a long time to kind of realize it, right?
Really see who, yeah.
Until it got to the point I was like, oh, okay.
Well, and I think the younger we are, it's harder to see that. But as we get older, we start to notice it a lot more.
Yeah. Well, you become wiser, right?
Of course.
And then there was times like in between, like I wouldn't hear anything, and I'm like, oh, there's a concert coming up next week. I bet I'll get a call. And sure enough, a week, 2 weeks before, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, what are you doing? What's going on, Jeremy? How are you?
Not my kind of people.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And that's not how you should treat people, especially if you love them and you care about them. It should be, hey, I want to see you or be around you, not just for stuff. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, that's not the case. So
no. In a perfect world, it would be nice for people just not to be big a-holes.
Yeah. But we control that too now. So I mean,
you have the power to choose, and you have the power to make wise decisions.
Yeah. And as we're older, we notice those things.
You have the power to leave.
Yeah.
It is up to you.
Very true.
But some people like to stay stuck. Some people like to stay in the same place, feel sorry for themselves. They play the victim. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but no. There comes a point where you have to just let go and realize that you're worth more than that.
Yeah. Well, you have to control who you allow yourself to be around, like you said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
How much time you're going to put yourself in those situations, because you know there's going to come a point where you're going to get just overwhelmed, or you're going to get to the point where you're going to say something, you're going to regret it. You'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have did that, but
yeah.
You know, but yeah.
You know, another thing that comes to mind is like whenever, let's say you're friends with someone and your friend doesn't like someone because of X, Y, Z, and they expect you not to like them because they don't like them. They expect you to delete them from all social media platforms because they're no longer friends with them on social media. I don't get that either.
Yeah.
Because first of all, your relationship with them, again, does not affect my relationship with them or with you. And it shouldn't. Like, that's something that I still think a lot of adults don't get. Is why should I not like someone because you don't like someone? Yeah. If they didn't do anything to me, or I didn't see anything alarming or anything that I didn't like why?
Bless you.
Thank you. I think I've been holding that sneeze in for a while. Yeah, so, you know, I shouldn't not like someone just because someone else doesn't. And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, I'm going to find out for myself. Oh, they said that this person is so-and-so and XYZ. And okay, all right, I'm going to go meet them. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to go spend some time with them, see how true that really is. And a lot of times, it's never true.
Yeah. Usually there's something that has happened with that person and whoever.
Or jealousy, or whatever the case may be.
Or they did something wrong and they're blaming it on that person,
or they made one bad choice in life and they're judging them off of one choice. Yeah. Like they're not human and you can't make mistakes. Like I make mistakes all the time. I don't know. But I don't get that. And I don't like that. I don't like it.
Well, that's when someone tries to control you, right? That becomes a point of like manipulation and stuff. Where that person's like, oh, well, I don't like them. You shouldn't hang around them. You shouldn't do that.
Definitely a form of manipulation. Me,
Yeah. Or they're trying to make you feel guilty or bad, or like, oh, well, you're hurting me because you're talking to them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, even like if you have a friend that's dating someone that they don't like, okay, well, you're not the one dating them. I am. And it shouldn't affect your friendship. And, you know, just because I don't like someone that my friend is dating because I think that they can do better or whatever the reason may be, doesn't mean that it's going to affect my relationship with my friend. I'm going to still love them through everything. Yeah. You know? I can voice my opinion if asked. Yeah. And I will give it.
Yes, you will.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to defriend them from social media or do whatever it is that they, you know, want me to do or whatever the case is.
Well, you're going to speak in love towards that person and try to help that person to avoid heartbreak, disappointment, betrayal, whatever it is. Of course. Because a lot of times, you know, looking from the outside, there's things that we notice that even like when people see, you know, that may know us and they see our relationships or they see what we're doing on the outside, a lot of times if they love you and they care about you, they'll definitely go to you and say, hey, you know, we need to talk about this. You know, this is something I've been noticing. This is something that I see. This is something that, you know, I feel this could be a bad decision for you and I want you to really consider it, you know. And then we have it on our hands to be able to take that and go, okay, well, I'll look at it, you know.
Yeah. Of course.
Definitely look at it. And I've had friends that have done that in the past, and you know, it's nice to know that you do have people that care. But then ultimately you have the decision to make, right? Yeah. And that's where things go. So people are going to make their decisions no matter what, but at least we can speak life into them and give
that
them,
is true.
give them some
That is true. And I
direction.
always appreciate concern and feedback and criticism and love, right? But ultimately, it's my life and I'm going to do what I want. You know why? Because
I think everyone does, but
yeah, but you only have one life to live. So yes, weigh your options, make a pro and con list.
I'm going to have to.
How are you going to have 2 lives? Tell me.
Because when I die, my life is going to start.
Wow, that's where you're going with this? Okay.
To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
Of course.
Lord.
Oh, you can't forget the
The
T.
Lord.
Okay, Medea.
Lord. And I'm Jeremy.
Stop it. Ay, ay, ay.
Anyways. Yeah.
Anyways.
Family is difficult sometimes.
Can be.
There's things that don't always go as we hope or as we plan, and
yeah,
you just gotta do what's best for you, your mental health, your stress,
of course. And I
your
always
emotions.
try to do that, but there are family members, that I wish I was closer to, or so I make my efforts and I try. But there comes a time where you try and you make all this effort for years and years, only to get shot down again, only to get shot down over and over and over. And so at some point you're like, well, dang, why do I keep trying to be a part of their life? Why do I keep trying to spend time with them? Why do I keep trying to make an effort when they just push me away?
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep trying when they just push me away. That's the point that I'm at probably now. Like, why? So I have to talk myself. So you know what happens is it's a cycle. I talk myself out of it, and I'm like, I talk to myself like this. This is my mental conversation. Ready?
We are going inside
You ready?
the jelly.
Jelly talking to Jelly. What would Jesus do? Well, he would want you to be loving and show kindness and keep reaching out.
True.
Do you think Jesus kept on giving up on you? No, he kept running after you. After every mess up, he would come and clean you up. Guess what? Then you did it again. He'd come back and he'd come and love you. So then I'm like, yeah, but I'm not Jesus. And then I would be like, this is my mental conversation. Yeah, but you asked what Jesus would do, and that's what he would do. He would continue to love, to seek you out, and whatever. And I'm like, fine, you're right. So then I'll try again, I guess, tomorrow. So then I'll try. That's my mental conversations a lot of time. So then I'll try, right? I don't know why I did the hand puppets, but anyway.
That was cool.
They're supposed
I'm
to be
gonna use
like,
that as a clip.
Please don't. Oh, always the flattery moments. Anyways.
Hi, what's your name? Oh, my name's Jeremy. What's your name?
I didn't look at him all crazy like that.
Yes, so well. I didn't even see you there.
I didn't look at them all crazy like that.
I know. I take things at another level.
I know you do, baby. So then so after my inside head conversation with myself, then I will try again. And guess what? It backfires. It fails. I'm crushed all over again. And I'm like, why do I bother? Oh, yeah.
Well, because why do you keep doing it? Because you have hope in a sense that
I have hope.
You'll break through, right?
Yeah, of course. Because God can
But a
do
lot of
anything.
times there's, like we say, there's another side to that person making decisions, and
But you know
who
what
knows
it comes
what they're
down
going through,
to?
what's happening.
Yes, and I get that. But what it comes down to for me is that at the end of the day, at the end of my life journey here on earth, when I have to meet God, when I die, I don't want him to be like, you didn't try.
Yeah.
I
True.
told you to do
That's
all
good.
these things and you didn't even
That's
do them. I don't want to be judged for not doing the things I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
That he called me to do. I don't want that. So that's why I keep trying. no matter how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
You think Jesus cared how he felt every time he cleans up our mistakes? You know what I mean? Like, so that's just to give some perspective.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
Anyways.
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just entered into the mind of Jelly. Stop. Okay, anyways, this is episode 17. Do you have anything else to add, baby? Because I don't have anything else, and we got tons of things to do tonight. Don't look at me like that.
I didn't say nothing. No, I think that's good. Keep trying, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all we can do.
Mm-hmm.
If some person brings bad juju, bad vibes,
Mm-hmm.
bad blood, hurtful
When
comments
in
in
doubt,
your life
pray
constantly,
it out.
then you have to protect yourself, but
Big wheels keep on turning.
Proud Mary. I don't know the song. You always give me these songs I don't know and
How do
expect me
you
to
not
sing
know
them.
Proud Mary? I think.
Cause I don't. I just don't.
Proud Mary keeps on rolling. Something like that. Anyways.
Isn't Proud Mary a name of a boat or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But thank you guys for listening to episode 17, where we talk about a lot of things, but mostly family, right? Family-related topics, relationships, toxic family members, how to set boundaries, or boundaries with family members that you just can't stand.
Yeah. Can't control everything, but you can choose people that you want in your life. That's the great thing about being an adult.
Yes, and
you can make that choice.
There's also the concept of loving from a distance.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that is something that you can do.
Yes, it is. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Facebook page, our Instagram, our TikTok. We would love to see you on there. Comment on our videos and maybe share some topics you'd want us to talk about.
Definitely. Feedback. We love it.
We do. Negative or positive. We don't care.
We've had some interesting ones.
Yeah. Anyways.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for once again turning the page with Jer.
And Jel.
And we look forward to seeing you next week. Don't miss out.
Yeah.
This beauty's going to be back on my side again. Now let's go get a rest. Let's go.
Okay. Yes,
It is way too late for this. Awesome. Well, we're back for another episode. We are episode 17 right now.
Hold on, back up. You have to this time.
That's a beautiful spot.
Thank you. Let's spike it up. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone.
Hey!